Today's adventure brings us wildlife extraction. We have a mouse and a bunny in the window well. I reached out to my friend that does the wildlife rescue and asked her if I get this bunny out, if he'll be okay by outside, and she said yes. So just got to get him out and put him out in the field. But the mouse, it's super squirrely. And of course, we have some tumbleweeds in there. Come on, little guy. I'm trying to set you free. I've been trying to get free all morning. Okay, here we go. Dad's coming in. Oh, that's a good idea, and then I'll walk you out there. Oh. All right.
All right, we're supposed to be camping on our land in Casper this weekend. Kim has stuff for work in Casper yesterday and today. So the plan was to take the RV and go up there with the dogs, and now spend 2 nights in the RV for the first time. And, you know, 3.5 hours away from home. However, as often happens here in Wyoming in the winter and spring and, well, summer and fall, high winds and the interstates and the roads frequently are closed to high-profile, lightweight vehicles, which a towable trailer most definitely is, because they have a tendency to just get caught by the wind and blown over and off the road. And then it costs a lot of time and money and aggravation for everybody to pick them back up. Also, tractor trailers, empty ones, things with light load. So yesterday when we were going to be driving up there, Interstate 25 was closed to high-profile vehicles under 40,000 pounds, since our trailers are less than like 7,000 or 8,000 pounds. But definitely applied. So Kim ended up going herself and staying in a hotel, and I'm here. And so instead I'm going to try to get this fence area off the front porch for the dogs created today, or at least started. I got the auger attachment for the tractor assembled. It came in a crate of mostly pieces. So here it is, assembled and attached to the tractor now. I got a 6-inch bit. The posts for the fence are 4.5, 5 inches, roughly, right? Because they're rough cut. So it should be good. I went out there in the yard and randomly dug a hole with it. Seems to be working. And So now this is the area we're going to put the fence. We had that short little metal fence there before, worked for a couple months until Loki figured out he could just jump over it, and then Sky started following him. But we're going to start with this post on the corner right here, because it's sort of the one that all the rest will be dependent on for placement. So we're going to put it roughly there. I started digging here down along the stoop because I figured somewhere below grade the concrete had seeped out under the forms, and so it probably wasn't vertical the whole way down, and that was correct. So I don't want to try to auger through concrete if I can avoid it. So I'm going to come out a little bit. This is the gate we bought. I had to order it, and I ordered it when we were going to do a 2-rail fence until I figured out how low a 2-rail fence was going to be, that they could just jump over that too. So we decided to go with a 3-rail fence, but I already had this gate ordered, so the plan is to try to keep it. And since it's against this stoop, which is fairly high, we're just going to raise it up roughly to the level of the top of the rest of the fence. And the bottom shouldn't really matter because it's going to be basically against this stoop, and I shouldn't be able to get through there or under there. So I'm going to come over and try to dig this first hole. Posts are supposed to be about 27 inches in the ground. So I marked each post at 27 inches up. 27 inches is most of the height of the auger, at least from the wide part of it. So we'll dig a first hole and bring a post over and see if it fits and seems to be the right height. Get it loosely in there, and then go in one direction or the other. Put another post hole in and put it up, see if we can get a couple rails hooked between it before we fill any dirt in and get them more solid in the ground. So I'm gonna go get on the tractor and bring it over here, see if I can manage to get the auger in the right place by myself sitting in the tractor. Stand by. All right, well, in typical fashion, I got excited, drove the tractor over and started digging the first hole, and forgot to turn the camera back on. So we got a partially dug. Seemed like it was pretty deep, but actually all the dirt piled up around it. It's only about half as deep as it needs to be, so pulled that dirt away so I can see better where the surface is, and dug a little bit out by hand and fell back in. So now we're going to try to finish this one up, and we'll get a post and see how well it fits in there. See if I can arrange this so that you see what's happening. And so it went pretty easily. Seemed to hit any concrete. It's actually very nice soil here. On the top, it looks like hard pan. Down here, almost 2.5, 3 feet down. It's quite nice. Not quite as deep as I wanted. You go grab one of the posts, stick it in there, see how it looks. So like I said, I did mark the posts at 27 inches. And that's this black Sharpie mark here. So you can see we're still, I don't know, 3 or 4 inches short, I'd say, of where we want to be. So I'm gonna go in here and take one more pass with the auger and try to get a few more inches. And hopefully we'll be good then. Gonna dig some of this out by hand. I have a post hole digger I could be using, but it's locked up in the shed. I feel like walking the whole way over there. Frankly, even that, by the time you get this deep, it's not great. It's hard to get it all out. Let's see. That frankly doesn't look any better than it did before. Dig some more out by. All right. So after a little bit more excavation by hand, I'd say that's pretty close. I could probably pound it in there a little bit deeper. The hole's still pretty soft, stuff that fell back in. So let's see if I can pile drive that in there just a little bit. I think that one will be good. We'll have to bring a rail over and stick it in and kind of figure out where the next bit's needs to go. Now that I got this post in, I want to kind of hold this gate up and see what it's going to look like here. Obviously, put it up here at the top of the post. It's going to be too high. Lower it down a little bit. I think it'll work. I might end up just ordering a 3-rail gate. So I had measured this out like a month or two ago. Right, to figure out how big we wanted this to be and how many rails and posts and everything we needed. So it's supposed to be basically 20 by 40 feet. Although looking at this now, I'm concerned that I'm going to run out of space before I hit the driveway here. So, need to go grab another 2 posts and check that out and see if it's going to be a problem. I didn't really want to put it right here in front of this drainage thing, but I guess if we have to, we will. It's half full of dirt anyway already. Dirt blowing all fall and winter, so not sure that it's draining much anyway, but I'm going to go grab a line post and another corner post and another rail and just sort of put them loosely together here and see if we can figure out if we got enough space. Okay, so I just wanted a line post over and put it here upside down so I can attach this rail roughly where it's going to be and put another rail so it does look like we got space here. Put this other post in without being right in front of that drainage channel. Turns out it's going to work the way I planned it to. Years. So I'm going to mark these other 2 post locations and we'll get those dug. Once again, I got excited and kept going and didn't turn the camera on. Since it's just me, I guess we're going to have to live with that for today. So I got 2 sections of fence built across the front of the porch here. These 2 posts are backfilled mostly. I'd have to back a little more, but this one's still loose because I need to be able to wiggle it around when I'm putting the next row in coming down this way. So that's 20 feet of fence there. We'll have 20 feet coming down this way and 40 feet across the driveway, 20 feet back up this way, and 20 feet along the sidewalk there, and then the gate will be on the edge of the stoop here, in theory. So the driveway is not straight, and so this will end. Obviously this is not straight back here because there's a dog leg here because of the gate. So this side over here is going to be kind of on an angle a little bit, sort of following the curve of the driveway. And yeah, so I'm pretty happy. I don't know how long this has taken, maybe an hour, maybe not quite. Starting to get the hang of the auger though, so this time I only had to really dig once. I started digging and it wasn't going anywhere, and I thought I was hitting concrete overflow underneath the surface, but there was just like a big piece of shale or slate or something there. So I had to dig out with a shovel, and once I got past that, then it went down really easily, and basically just had to do one time with the auger and dig it out a little bit by hand, and it was deep enough, so that's good. If I can do that with the rest of the holes, this will go faster. So once again, I'm just going to get a rail, 2 rails, I guess, and lay out where these next 2 posts need to go to be the right distance apart, and we'll get this side completed. And so it obviously, right, this fence alone isn't going to keep the dogs in. But we got welded wire fence to put around the inside of it, stapled to the wood part, so they won't be able to get through. And once you're, that's a welded wire fence over there, and even from this far away, it was about 50 feet. You can't even see the wire, right? I can see the post, but not the wire. So hopefully this will be good, and it'll keep them in, and it won't see it too much from, as long as you get a little bit away from it. So what's next? All right, well, the GoPro died, obviously, in the middle of doing this, but we're done with the main structure. So it's basically 20 by 40-ish. Still need to put the gate on over there. Somehow those posts ended up a little farther apart than I intended, so I might need to put some other piece of lumber in there to shim it or something to give that gate something to latch to, but I still might just go break down and buy the 3-rail gate, but that'll take a little while to get because it has to be ordered, so I'll probably just use this one in the meantime. So that's got to get put on. I'll probably try to do that now. And then obviously we got to get the welded wire to the inside of the thing to make it actually useful for the dogs. So again, this is essentially just so we can let the dogs out late at night and early in the morning. And hopefully just shepherd them right out the sliding door there into here and let them go to the bathroom without them taking off over there to Nebraska to see the horses or wherever while trying to herd them out to the current there. So it was working really good with that other fence until Loki figured out he could hurdle it and taught other people how to do it. So hopefully, I don't think they can jump over this one. Rip, I'm sure, could climb over it or jump over it once he's fully grown. Hopefully, he won't be that motivated. If he starts doing that, we might put some coyote rollers on him just to keep that keep him from crawling over. So, all right, I'll try to see if I can do something with the gate, and I'll update after that. So as the sun dips below the horizon and dusk approaches on the great American prairie, once again we find Kim and Chris racing against the dying of the light in an attempt to complete a project. This project being putting the welded wire on the inside of the split rail fence that I built last weekend while Kim was out visiting. Where were you? Oh, you're at work. She was at work.
Wasn't I in Salt Lake City?
I don't know. I can't remember anything anymore. So, whatever. It's a week or two after the initial part of the fence build. And we have this side, and the long side complete. The wire is run on the rest of it and sort of tacked into place on the post, but Kim's following. That was my job. Kim is following behind, running the staples in along the rails and tightening it up. So we basically cut it at each post since the ground obviously isn't even or straight and the sections aren't completely straight. So every 10 feet you got a chance to adjust the angle and keep it tight to the ground, since the idea is to keep the dogs in here. And they are very clever and adept at escape when they want to be. So I don't think we're going to get done tonight, but tomorrow morning's another day, or tomorrow afternoon, because tomorrow morning we're going to Colorado to pick up some trees. On this dreary and rainy and damp late May Saturday, we drove to Colorado and bought a couple aspen. Supposed to get a spruce tree too, but apparently they sold out, even though we had one reserved. But they're gonna have more in June or something, so we'll get something then. So brought them back and planted one here, one over there, on each side of the driveway coming in. So I guess Kim's vision for the future is to line the driveway with them, buying a couple a year. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see if these two survive. The dirt's pretty good, although over on the other side there, where they cleared for the house, It's not particularly deep before you get to some clay and stuff, but hopefully it'll be good enough and there's enough room for the roots to spread out before they can start getting bigger and good. So that's what I was doing. Let's go over and see what Kim was doing while at the same time. While I was planting the trees, Kim was over here at the new fence, finishing up the installation of the welded wire and also multitasking, conducting internet commerce, selling the old short fence that the dogs jump over to some people from Colorado, which is where we bought it from in the first place. So it's going back to Colorado, not the same people, but same state. So while I was planting the trees, she was over here doing this side, using many advanced golf words that I did not know she knew, let alone was willing to use in polite company. But apparently things were not going as she desired for a large portion of the day, but it looks like it turned out pretty good to me. I guess the test now will be whether the dogs actually stay in here or instantly find a way to tunnel out or jump over it when we put them in. Is that going to be today or is that going to be a different day?
No, we'll try it today.
All right, well, stay tuned. We'll see what happens when they go in there. They were very agitated when the people showed up to buy their old fence, and they're very muddy over there. So, not going to be spending a lot of time running around in the house tonight, I don't think. All right, stay tuned to see if they actually stay in this fence after all the aggravation to get it put up for them. I don't think they're going to thank us for it because they don't like being constrained. They like to run free.